Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'd like to look at your unpopular Wings of Fire opinions. In case you didn't know, I made a community post last weekend announcing that I was going to be making a video full of your wolf opinions and allowed you guys to comment to them. I got over 300 replies, so I can't include all of them. This video suggests me by Bursting Rainbows, so a massive shout out to her for suggesting it. Keep in mind that this video contains some major spoilers for almost every Wings of Fire book, so be careful. I'd recommend not watching it until you've read every wolf book or don't care about spoilers. This video is entirely opinionated. Absolutely do not get into any arguments with anybody in the comments about a Wings of Fire opinion they have. I'll delete any rude arguments that happen. Just be nice and respect other people's opinions. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. I actually agree with a lot of these opinions, so I'll try to find a mix of ones that I agree with and ones that I disagree with. Also, a lot of you guys commented similar things, so I can't include all of them. I'm going to butcher some names here, so I'm very sorry. Catherine Chinkle said that they don't mind scavengers in the story, and this is definitely one that I disagree with. I've shed light on this opinion before, but scavengers just aren't my cup of tea. I'm really not into scavengers because I'm reading a dragon series for a reason. I can agree that there is a little bit of potential for being interesting, and I do like Ren a little bit. But I had the option to keep or remove them, I'd definitely remove them. Serenity the Siren said that they wanted to see more of a friendship with Clear Sight and Listener, and oh my goodness do I agree with this one. While I was reading Darkstalker Legends, I genuinely enjoyed every moment this minor duo shared together, and I really think that Listener should have had a larger role. I would do anything to see more of their friendship, because their dynamic together was great and very underrated. Be honest, how often do you see people talking about Clear Sight and Listener together? Percy said that Darkstalker's actions are unforgivable, and I totally agree with this one. He was incredibly toxic, and yet people excuse that just because he had a tough home life. Your real character is how you act despite your circumstances, and Darkstalker just kept on going down the wrong path. I've done a whole video on this before, so I won't dive too much into it. Darkstalker just had too many times to change and refused, which makes you feel no sympathy for him whatsoever. Emily K brought up an interesting thing about Silkwings not being able to be colored black. While I do agree with this in a sense, I know that Silkwings are supposed to be a colorful tribe, so I understand why Tui didn't make it a thing. I feel like little black spots or parts of them should be allowed, though. I don't see much wrong with that. They even brought up that some butterflies have black on them, and Silkwings are inspired by butterflies. I do think that it's an odd rule that she set up, but I do understand a little as to why. Mothwing the Medicine Cat explained that they dislike anyone shipping the Dragonets of Destiny together, and this actually wasn't something I thought of before. They're sort of like siblings in a sense, so I can understand why some people might not like them being shipped. Though I don't ship any of the Dragonets together, I really wish that Starflight having a crush on Sunny would have been a bigger thing and actually led towards a sweeter ending with the two of them. I wish they had more chemistry and more time to spend on their relationship, rather than it just being sudden. SCAMV said that Io is underrated, and I definitely agree with this one. I would do anything to see her again, even if it's just a brief scene at the end of book 15. She's such an underrated character, so more of her would be great. Io is really the only Silkwing that I care about. Squiddles brought up a fantastic point that I haven't seen many people talk about before. Icicle didn't deserve to be villainized. In fact, Sora was really the one in the wrong for attempting to kill her. Sure, Sora let the emotions get the best of her, but that isn't an excuse for her actions. Icicle killed Crane during a war. It wasn't like it was personal, unlike Sora's act of revenge against Icicle. I genuinely feel bad for her, and I would enjoy seeing a winglet on a letter she wrote to Winter while awaiting her trial. I feel like writing this myself if we never end up actually seeing it written canonically. Barret Goddess discussed that Darkness of Dragons ending and Darkstalker being turned into Peacemaker was kind of a letdown, and sadly I do have to agree with this one. I really feel like he should have been punished properly for his actions, rather than just been turned into a Dragonite with no memory of what he had done. Tur the Trivid said that Dragon Slayer is a good book, and I saw a lot of other people say this as well. Though I personally can't find myself to agree with this, I guess I can sort of understand why. This one is definitely underrated though, especially because almost all of the fandom dislikes scavengers. Even though not everybody does, that opinion makes up the majority. Anubis said that they would have preferred it if Cricket had turned out to be a Silkwing hybrid, rather than just the lame twist we got in book 12. And wow, do I find myself agreeing with this one. I suppose it's never something I've thought of before, but it would have been way more interesting than what we did end up seeing. They also said that they dislike Glorybringer, which is another one I'm glad that other people commented about as well. The ship just doesn't have any chemistry. I'm sorry, Glorybringer shippers. And finally, Silver Stripe admitted that they'd love to see more about the Talents of Peace. To be honest, I would as well. They're very interesting, yet we haven't actually seen much of how their organization works. Some stories during the war and forgotten members would make for some great winglets. I couldn't include every unpopular opinion in this video because, like I said, I got over 300 of them. I included some of the ones that stuck out to me the most, especially ones that I actually find myself agreeing with. What are your unpopular Wings of Fire opinions, and would you like to see a part 2? Let me know down below. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!